Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk. Privyat.
And I'm Dave Lees. Здравствуйте. Jenny, it is Russian Nationals. It is, I think we've been waiting for it a little bit. I was excited.
I was excited too.
I'm also excited to see your tank tops back. So
I know, so I tried to be, okay, I'm wearing a bra. Let's stop. Yeah.
So pause. Sometimes I have a friend, so I may be like, it's time to have a cocktail, and I'm going to be doing research for future TSL shows. So I've been taking notes as I watch some of these things. And someone said, "Well, why do you say pause?" So I made him watch the original Doug Rosano interview. You had roots, Jenny.
I had
They were like
Gracie
level.
They were so like, can we talk about my roots during the skate or the Canadian National Championship recap show? Oh, bless. That's why I needed to move to California. I need to get a better colorist.
Yes, but I'm glad that the tatas are back.
Well, it's not even the tatas. I just think I have nice skin.
Oh, okay.
I use my Puritan's Pride moisturizer. It's nice.
Have you been using the plie? Because I love it. You smell like
Jordan Samuel Skin.com.
I was smelling myself when I was driving. I was like,
that's about when you're like, oh, well, all right, guys, before we get started on all of the hoopla from Russian Nationals, we do want to say something about Puritan. That was not a weird promotion thing, but the lotion is really good. If you go to Puritan.com, between now and December 31st, so the last of the year, you can buy anything. You get a free signed photograph by Miss Diva Wagner, and you have to put in promo code AshleyW. So with your purchase, you'll get that. And you can also use skating and get a 10% discount from TSL.
How come she's never given us any signed photographs? Why don't we have an Ashley photograph? I would like one.
We should ask for one at Nationals. Let's get a bunch of signed photographs.
I would like an Ashley, an Alexa, maybe a Stolbova, all of them right there, right to
I want a Stolbova, yeah. A sway in hand.
So,
all right, well, let's get into it. I'm sorry.
Well, what's going on with the T-shirts, with the Ashley T-shirts? First of all, Dan, they need to say Team Diva Wagner.
Oh, yeah, so you can purchase from Puritans. You can buy a Team Ashley T-shirt where you can wear to support our Diva Wagner. But yeah, I think Diva should be Diva Wagner.
Yes,
Team Diva. Team Diva.
Yes, absolutely. I think so. We need to have fun. It's Nationals, baby.
I'm very
So, Jenny, let's get into it because we had to watch 10 Russian ladies this morning. And it was, there were a lot of gloves.
There were a lot of half on, half off over the boot tights. And first of all, before we discuss this, talking about looks and makeup. What's with the makeup with the Russian ladies this week?
They all want to see contoured for Nationals. There was a lot going on.
But the thing about it is, you gotta blend it a little bit. It can't just be a line. It's very 80s. And then my daughter, Radinova, I respect that she has very nice highlights this season, but where was the lipstick in the short program? There was no eye, no lipstick, a little bit of wispies. Come on. At Nationals, there used to be a new skin group for all of us where we could go in and get our makeup done, and they really went heavy on the makeup. But I feel like maybe we should hire somebody like that for Russian Nationals. Go fund me for these women's makeup.
I mean, these girls are very famous. They absolutely need it. And it's, you're here today, gone tomorrow in Russia. So when you're having your moment, you need to look good. So let's start. Where should we start with? Let's start
with the winner. Is she going to win Worlds? Very gritty. Fantastic performances.
I think, she'll probably win Worlds. She had some outrageously large scores here. It's national scoring.
It's Nationals.
I will say, Jenny, so she doesn't do a Lutz in the short. And I know that she got an exclamation point over at the final. The Lutz was really rocked onto an inside edge before she started. That was really... the one thing I really have to ding about in the program, but overall, she was really fantastic. The axel, again, which she said was not her best jump. Some of the doubles, it looked a little not scary, but she's fighting on that free leg afterwards. She definitely fought through that program, but she definitely sparkled here. What did you think?
I agree. I think, she's just coming back time and time again. The real test for her will be next season, both as her body matures a little bit and what that does to her technique, like we talked about with Radionova last year, and then how she handles the pressure, because she's always kind of been that number 2 junior lady, not really the top woman, but she's handling it so well. And I was also impressed to see Radionova handling it well this weekend too. Great triple loop in the short program, but it's really in the long, her first Lutz has been sketchy all season, a little scary. Yeah. She was more focused here, though. It seemed like she was really fighting for everything. I hate her entrance into her double axels, though. How she does she's going back and then she does a little hop forward. both of them, both in the long program, it just gets a little bit repetitive. And it's when the Celine starts to sing and she's doing the circular footwork that the shoulders start to get hunchy, and that's when it becomes just, it's tough. It's tough to watch her skating, but I love to see how focused she is. Question for you before you discuss her performance. Second at Worlds last year, she did win nationals last season, but is she going to peg herself as always the runner-up? I mean, when is she does she need to have a breakout performance at Europeans if she's named to that team and then Worlds?
I think she does, and I think that she could. I mean, but the thing is that now I kind of think that we do see her as the silver medalist. I didn't expect her to win here. I expected them to go 1-2, I think, in this order. What I noticed about her performance was, so the first Lutz was shaky, and it was kind of like when Michelle Kwan would go to perform and Sandra would be like, landed but tight. And then the second one, she really, on the flip, she was also a little bit off on the landing. And you can just tell that could really affect your confidence a little bit. You're like, oh, this is not the performance that I thought that I was going to have to win nationals.
She
fought the whole program. So it wasn't her usual effervescence where it's like she's running the whole time. The one thing is that I've been watching some skating, so I'm going to interview Jenny, and we have some other interviews coming up. Yeah, exactly, I got it on camera. She has to agree to this. So anyway, when I was watching some older skating, like there was stretch. People, you know, they don't have a lot of time in the IJS, but there was posture and glide and long edges with the limbs extended. And there's none of that going on in this skating. And because of the weak posture, whatever choreography he does have just kind of looks thrown away, very blah, it's unimportant to me. And I think that we really need to work on the posture of these ladies because Redinova is someone who is very talented. And Medvedeva, and I think as the other competitors eventually get better or other people come in the mix, the second mark is going to become more important. I think later on in the season, Mal's not at her peak now. She could be later. You never know when it's going to...
But the question is, I don't even think it's going to affect them. We've seen, it's not, it doesn't matter. Like, it's like the judges don't, I mean, aesthetically, for you and me, maybe somebody else, when I'm watching it, it's difficult to watch when it's like the fifth girl who's just pumping with her back. But it seems like it's not affecting them internationally either, so why change? I mean, that's the question.
I mean, I'm hoping that one day it does affect people, just for my eyes, and it was, you know, it's a little rough to watch. But I really like Redinova's personality out there. I was impressed. I like to watch her as a competitor because it's so interesting to see how she's going to do time and time again. And it is impressive to see her fighting through. Her body is changing. She's a lot taller than she was. And she didn't have a perfect performance, but she really...
She's maintained. I feel like this season, it's about her, like, she didn't fall off. She didn't have a Lipnitskaya last year where it was just a chaos. Like, she's actually shown that she could work through the changes in her body. But... for my own good, I would like to see some of those changes when it comes to the second mark. We'll talk about impressive. Pogorelaya really turned it around. That was a great moment. I mean, she's focused on all the jumps. She looked a lot quicker and tighter in the air. She needs to use her edges, though. I mean, really get into the ice. She's such a tall skater, particularly compared to some of these younger girls coming up, that I want to see her strokes a lot bigger. You're making lots of faces. What's going on?
Well...
she kind of lands in a thud, and she doesn't get any ride out on the edge from her jumps. And not a lot of the girls have those long triple lutzes with the long Michelle Kwan ride out at 2003 Worlds, but they don't have any ride out going on, especially when you watch Pogorelaya, especially when she did her triple half loop triple with the sow on the second jump. I mean, she
Bucherskaya is that.
And then she lands, but it's like she's trying to stick the landing rather than have a jump that flows out. To me, the overall, she's performing as Scheherazade, but the overall performance quality is like watching Angela Nikodinov any year except for 2001. It's really, really rough, I think, as a viewer to watch someone who is kind of phoning it in terms of the performance, and whether it's the choreography, that she does not have a lot of stretch, she doesn't have a lot of lean to her body or anything to really be interpretive with the music, but it's hard for me to get behind her. Even though I was impressed where she had such a rough competition at NHK, I was really impressed to see her come back and fight here and do well, and I can certainly commend her for that.
I agree. Well, the Peter non-Peter medalist here, Paulina, I'm going to try. Ternskaya,
yes. So she just won the Junior Grand Prix final.
She just won the Junior Grand Prix final. She needs to get rid of the gloves. She needs to cut off the half on skates, and she needs to grow into her body a bit more. She's really leggy. And the skirt's too short. So she needs a longer skirt. She needs to hold her moves more. Really impressed to see her open with the triplets, triple toe, double toe in her long program. But then it just seemed like little things got sloppy at the end, little mistakes. How big of a performance was this for her here to get a Peter, non-Peter? I mean, what is this?
I think it was impressive because she beat some names here that obviously she trains with Medvedeva. She's kind of the next in line from that camp. They pushed Yulia out. Sakanovic left. There are so many talented girls. The one thing is she doesn't use her arms as much as Medvedeva does. It looks like she jumps with her legs a little bit more, but her body's changing. It looks like she's becoming a woman a little bit earlier than Medvedeva, so it's kind of difficult to see which way the jumps will go. Her technique is not entirely consistent. As you could tell, there are little problems throughout. I don't see her having that intangible will to win the way that Rodionova and Medvedeva both seem to have, like a fighter's spirit.
Yeah, it grabs you.
Yeah,
and I think just the little bits on the second mark, just holding it more, making it was like an okay programs. I mean, she skated well, but it doesn't
I
really
didn't really understand the program. Obviously, there was something.
I don't understand
like
any of their programs.
Okay. Well, I understand.
There were some arms in the like. Was she a doll?
Rodionova was never going to let go. Well, this one had like the deck of cards with like the spades and the hearts.
And there were like arms before the foot. I don't know.
I don't know. It wasn't convincing. Without like footnotes, it wasn't coming through to me. And if I'm a judge on the panel, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
Because they don't give you a little booklet with what's supposed to be going.
No, it's just your elements. And that would go into, I would think, like performance execution. Like we should know what you're executing in terms of the story as well.
Yeah, I have to see this.
Wait, what's the story? Well, it's sorrow.
Sorrow.
Well, that's an emotion.
Yes.
Watch our synchro show. It was good. I want to talk about Sotnikova because she has the nicest triple flip of some ladies. I'm not the second one in her long program. The moment for
not
me, though,
in the short either.
Not in the short. But she's so hot and cold, and the programs here were so hot and cold. She did the great moment for me was the double axel triple toe, and then she has like this angst. It's all about like the two crossovers after with the fists.
So this is my girl for the year, even though she's struggling.
She
skates
like one of us in 2004. I mean, she holds stuff.
She didn't before, but now she learned
does.
that.
It's good.
And the one thing is that, so I was watching, I always felt, there's so much controversy about her win. She probably feels, one, like she wants to run into a room and cry, and then two, like,
I won.
Prove it.
Yeah.
But it's not been an easy comeback, so I really respect how much she's fought through this season, even though I hope that she doesn't give up. I hope that she gives herself one more year to see if she can get back.
Never let go.
Never let go, as Rodionova told us. But, there are some things about her technique, especially on the flip. She can have a very loose body position. That's one thing when I first watched her. I remember Tara Lipinski told me that. So what stood out to her is that she has such natural spring, but she's a little bit slow in the air. And a lot of times she really does fight the carrots on the jumps. Sometimes when she falls, you can see like on the loop, it was just a little shy. And with the flip, sometimes she stands so straight up in the air that you start to like lean back, like Caitlin Osman has that tendency too, where you don't always have the nice kind of diagonal going on in the air position. So she kind of falls out of her circle sometimes and it's a little bit loose. And it's so frustrating because she looks to be back, but you can just tell she's not quite in the stamina, the fitness, where she needs to be. What's your read on her?
Well, often when a skater leans back like that, it's because they're using their arms too much. They're trying to jump and they're throwing themselves with their arms or throwing themselves back instead of like a good jump should just be, and Frank always like really easy arms just right into your right side if you're turning like a righty. Like you just have to come right in. So I think she uses her legs. She has good jumping legs, but the problem is the arms throw and it gets in the way. At this point, she's not getting the toe backwards. It doesn't seem like she's ever gotten the let's toe backwards. And with these other Russian women doing triple so easily, I just think if she is to stay in it another season, either she needs to really, really train or perhaps just physically, she doesn't have the ability now, you're older, you're going like whatever, to do those triples that are needed. It may be best to just take her win, and it was a great win, and kind of go off and do shows, do something else. But I mean, if she loves to compete, stay in it. But I think realistically, she doesn't just have the technical ability and the consistency to compete with these women.
Yeah, I do agree that I didn't see her finishing in the top three here. I didn't think it was really possible. Someone was asking me ahead of time, and I always feel like I'm always the bad cop, but I just didn't see it all season. You know, the Lutz toe was never around, as you said. I mean, it was pretty much a double carrot every single time we saw her do it this season. I was impressed that she got the double axel triple toe around, but it just looks like the program was not completely there. But it's a gorgeous program. I like how she skates. I think she has improved, unfortunately. And I really appreciate someone who tries to be lyrical.
Yeah.
Because none of these women even understand
and
that.
holds. She's the one woman who actually holds her movements. I feel like Sakinovich does too. She holds her movements a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sakinovich has that potential. These other women, they're not
They're
even.
on to the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about on to the next thing. Lipnitskaya, okay, her short program, one of my moments of the week. Pause. She got rid of the over the boot tights. That was
Yeah, but she's wearing Idea, Jenny. You know, this girl has an Olympic gold medal. Like, no. I'm sorry. I don't want to look like, you took your little markers and you drew on your skates and like,
I mean, that's part of their selling point. I think some girls like the glitz and glam, but I like that it wasn't anything cutting off.
Excuse me, in ballet, you have point shoes. There is no glitz and glam. Obraztseva's not like taking a Sharpie and drawing little hearts like Madison Chalk on her skate. And
what was that? Yeah, I don't like when you put like in Terry used to do like a sticker of her best friend.
No, okay.
I don't know. My students wear it. I think it's fine. But I think, okay, when it comes to her short program, that was more than fine. The Rosano in the late second half. And I just felt like her posture has gotten a lot better. She seemed a lot more calm. In a group text message, though, Dave Lee's called it. We were all very excited. And he said, wait until the long program. Just keeping it real. Yes, and it was true. And I watched the long program, and it's true. That is her downfall. It was better, much better than last year. She didn't give up. I see improvement. I think she's one you talk about sticking around or never let go. She should, and she should stay where she is in terms of coaching. And this
Urmanov Urmanov obviously was trained by Mishin, so she's going to really learn proper jump technique from someone who had really great jumps. If he could use her how to jump with her legs, she's not a big girl. She's not someone who's going to really have to muscle her body the way she does. In the way that she was. She was muscling when she was 11 years old on these jumps, which is something that can help you be consistent when you're itty-bitty, and then it kind of goes away. So the one thing is that I think that she will really learn some proper technique. Her triple loop looked better. The flip is always a struggle. And I just think because her confidence is still waning.
On the way up, yeah.
It's on the way up, but it's not where it was. No. When she made the first mistake, I was like, okay, this is... I knew the second mistake was coming right after when she popped the flip. You just thought, she's not yet ready to fight out there on the ice. She doesn't have that extra confidence. So I think in the short program, she can really do, 2 jumping passes. And it's strange to me that she has some problems with the flip because it has to do with the entrance because she can do a triple flats, but she can't do a flip.
The three-turn gets extra swingy, and she uses her arms, we talked about earlier, so much. The Lutz, she can just kick the leg up and use the arms the last second, but it's that first part of the three-turn. It gets woo.
And that's why she has the problems with the Salchow as well. So I think that it's going to be interesting. I think that she should stick around and improve for next season. I hope that she does. I can't tell if she's sunny or not.
She was super sunny. That was the first time all season that I was like, this is like her Instagram handle fit her. Like it was a nice, really fun performance. And I know that placing, 7th here, isn't a great thing in her mind. I mean, when you're fighting for an Olympic gold medal just a couple years ago, but this was a victory. And I think she should take this season as a victory. Well, not so much of a victory for your daughter. What are they going to do? Will they name her to the European team?
Of course they're going to name her to the European team.
That's not fair, though. She's not been good. I don't think she deserves to be on that team.
People have been giving her like a pause all season. They've kind of been making excuses.
The excuses are over, honey, in my mind.
Don't you think they're going to send her to Europeans? They're not going to name her to Worlds yet. Or they're going to have a skate-off between... Okay, because
Pogorelaya and Radianova will go to both. They should go to both. Pogorelaya, it's going to be
Pogorelaya because they're going to look at NHK, body of work, she's world champion. So Nikova's out of it at this point. She can't do a long program. She can't even do a clean short. Yeah. I've never seen her even do a clean Rosano this season. So I think Tuktamisheva, they're going to give her another shot. But to me, the biggest thing about Tuktamisheva was that she just didn't have the life in her. She looks a little bit apathetic out there.
I blame her makeup.
Burnout. The makeup. And
when you have bad roots and bad makeup, it means there's something going on upstairs. Let's talk about it.
So you think they kind of ran her into the ground last season?
Yeah, I think she's exhausted, and I think she and Mal have that same one track of like, I think almost it was catch-22 that she did the triple axel at Worlds, because then it becomes like we have such expectations that she has to take it to the next level. If she hadn't done that this season, it would just be about using the material that she has through the lats, being confident and consistent. But I think when she adds a triple axel, it's not yet strong enough for her to really rely on it.
And she's double threeing out of it. It's not, the worst thing, but her short program here, I mean, for someone as experienced as she is, those mistakes can't creep in. I mean, she's a world champion. That's that's a performance level that's just unacceptable.
And you, like we said earlier, you get maybe one of those a season. You can get one.
You don't get one. I mean, not
you don't get one a competition, and now it's starting to be like 2 poor performances per competition. And I know she went back to the show. I think this season is not.
She needs a vacation.
Yeah.
I understand why people would want to send her to Europeans and Worlds. Maybe don't send her to Europeans. Let her have a little bit of a down and then get ready for Worlds, because it looks like she's exhausted and needs to kind of get her mojo back. Was her long that bad? Everyone was acting like it was horrible, and I didn't think. I mean, she popped the flip. She does the Gracie entrance. To me, the short was so unforgivable, but the long, it just looks like I could hear Tarasova talking about the program. The program. I mean, the program. She kept the music. Islamia.
Yeah.
But since when do they care? They've never cared that she had.
I do think though last season she had more of a program, and it may have just been
more energy too.
Yeah, that was it. It wasn't so much that she had these great transitions or anything, but she every time she took the ice, she like looked us in the eye and she was there present on it. Yeah, she took us on. This is almost like she's like, don't look at me. Like there's just a darkness when you watch her, and it's not just the black of her costumes. It's like there's something about her that she just doesn't seem all in this season. And I don't blame her. Like, she did too much last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think her body probably is a little bit injured as well. She just doesn't have the same energy, the same grit to go for the fight the way Radionova and Medvedeva do. It looks like she's skating a little bit scared too, knowing that mistakes are possible. So would you send her to Worlds? What would you do in this situation? You're on the panel.
I mean, I would send her to Worlds, not Europeans. You have to send the reigning world champion back to Worlds. I mean, if you're a country or a nation that has this kind of like nationals doesn't dictate the next few events, the placement there, you have to send her. I mean, you can't not. What would you?
And then why do they all compete? Like in the pairs, they usually always have people withdraw. They never do that in the ladies as much. They all come up to show to fight out one another.
Well, I like that they do in the men too. Any other ladies you want to discuss before we move on to the men?
You know what, Sakanovic, I thought really showed some.
But you can't fall in a double axel in your short program.
You cannot fall in a double axel, but they really hosed her here.
Yeah,
they really did. She has a lot of good things. She's not yet back in the best of shape, but I think that for the future, I hope that she continues as well, is not completely disheartened, because she has a lot of talent. She has good jumping legs. She is someone that I think keep at it. I think it was right that she left to Baritza to go back to her old coach, and I think that this could be a positive for the future. But Maria Satskova, again, it's just that one move to the next. Landing jumps in place. She landed a lot of triples. And here it was chista, absolute, but it was just not my favorite performance. Prokofiev, Romeo and Juliet, I didn't see much of a program, any of that. So, yeah, there were a lot of ladies, a lot of triple jumps, but interesting to see what they will do for the World Championships. How about the men, Jenny? I know that Russian men are your favorite. You like all of them. Who is your favorite here?
I actually really like Kovtun's long program. He gave us a little bit of Javier. I loved Tarasova's yelling after his third quad. I mean, I would yell too. That was kind of one of my moments of the week. He needs a bit more transitions. I think sometimes he has what Elizaveta has in her long program, where you do a lot of arms, and just because you're doing arms doesn't mean that it's a lot of choreography or a lot's going on in your legs. I think they can use a little bit more leg action. He jumps so much with his back, but this was a victory. His girlfriend is like a supermodel. She's very gorgeous.
I know he couldn't keep his mouth off of her during hands off of her during the.
Don't blame him.
Right, I know, who can blame him? Yeah. She's very pretty, and he seems to be friends with Lipnitskaya. They seem to get along. They're always So I'm a fan of.
I'm a fan. I was proud of him.
I like that he goes. Yeah, I don't like the program very much, but
I don't like the short. I like the long. I didn't hate the long.
I think it's a little Scott Hamilton, but it's not my cup of tea, but I do respect that he's going for the quads in both programs, even though it wasn't nailed in the short program and he didn't land all of his quads yet. He's stepping up to the plate with the other men. He's going to have a program as well for that. I think that in the men, you do need a program. That's what's so strange. In the ladies, it doesn't matter, but in the men, these men can jump and then many are artists as well.
It's very impressive. I was really impressed with Collada here. Hadn't watched a lot of him in the past. His moment, though, is the ride out that he gets in some of the jumps. Watch his triplets in his short program. I mean, it covers so much ice, and then it's so easy when he lands that huge triple axel. He just looked a little bit tired. We see in his long program the mouth. I can always tell with the guys when the mouth starts to open. And you can tell they're sucking air for that saliva. Oh, honey, you didn't do that long program enough times. Some step outs towards the end. I was surprised. This is good for him. Did you think it's good for him?
Yeah, he was good. He was also good at Cup of Russia. I mean, this was a good competition for him. I think send him to Worlds. I am impressed with him as well. Unfortunately, Anyan Pikayev had a horrific free skate. He has back problems, apparently.
Did he get a bad massage?
You know what? The way he performed here, if he can't be ready for Europeans, and I don't know if someone finishes 11th in the long, how you could send him to Europeans. I would want to keep sending him for development, but if he is injured, maybe don't send him if he's that injured to do that.
Well, it was really nice to see Petrov. I hadn't really talk about a cohesive program. I thought his long was really cohesive. He has great run out into and out of his jumps too. Just overall, I was really impressed with him. He's very compact. I thought, though, maybe his pants in the short program could have fit him a little. I mean, these are little things that I noticed. It's not a big deal, but he has the style, the overall lyrical skating that I think we talked about.
What about your man, Menshov? What was going on here? Is this the end of Menshov?
I couldn't tell. Was it like a pleather jacket, or is he trying to wear a straight jacket in the long program? Like, what is it? Because it looks like maybe it's like he's doing like a rock thing.
He's sad about the world and the plight of the world.
It's difficult. He doesn't train, or at least at Skate America, he was not really training outside of the program, so it was kind of what I expected from him. He could go out and do a great quad here or there, but to put it all together, some of those landings too on the triple axel, he let me down.
Same thing with Voronov, let you down again here as well.
I'm kind of giving up on him. Those are fake tattoos, right? The sleeve?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't Michael Weiss do that?
Oh, yeah. I don't like that look. No. It's still a man's world this season. It will always be a man's world when it comes to Voronov. Oh, I wrote TOS. And I highlighted it. Yeah.
Nikova too.
He looked dead after the third jumping pass. He needs to stretch his back camel, but at this point...
How many TOS do you see?
There were quite a lot in that men's event. Not so much in the ladies, but those men suck in air. Yeah, but overall, I was just really impressed with second and third place.
Yes, I agree.
Great.
Let's go past. I am excited for the pairs. I really want to move on to this. Pause.
So, what happened to Klimov? Word on the street is that he got a bad massage. It wasn't one of those happy ending massages. Very
Did
unhappy.
she massage him?
Yeah, so he strained a muscle. Did they report this person? Because I would have reported. I mean, if it's so bad,
Can we be honest?
Yes.
Let's
have a moment of honesty.
Let me tell you what's going to happen, and the Russians will be mad, and I'm like, no, because I am not hating. I think that you're all brilliant.
They're very brilliant, yes.
Let me tell you my read on the season. Voloshin and Trankov were fine in practice in France. I think, in my opinion, they maybe didn't feel 100% ready to compete head-to-head against the world champions at NHK. Not saying that they couldn't beat them, but it wasn't 100% sure. So, I believe that maybe she had a bruised heel a little bit, but if this was the Olympic year, they would have been out there. I think that maybe they went home and worked their tails off, and they got faster and better for this competition.
Which we saw.
Then Stolbova and Klimov, they shined at the final like diamonds. They were wonderful. They didn't need to compete here and win again. And then now, Voloshin and Trankov had their moment to shine.
So now we have two stars heading into Worlds.
We have two stars because if Voloshin and Trankov lost to Stolbova, then you only really have one star.
Yeah, and they are both trained by Elton John coach, so maybe,
Yeah, and I think maybe get a better excuse than a bad massage. I mean, I think that means that they'll be fine for European.
Yeah, they wanted it to be like an injury. No, he's probably seriously injured, but I'm saying how it could read, allegedly, is that, you know, it looks like an injury, but it's not like, oh, they're going to be out of this
Yeah,
season.
but like, okay, I had a deep tissue massage too, and let me tell you, they hurt.
They
and
hurt.
Yes, you're
That's
gonna go
part of,
into it.
yeah.
But like you feel
So will they
good
both be at Europeans, do you think?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so, and I think that they'll both be calling Jillian to be talking to Bob a lot over the next couple of months. They went on holiday together for Christmas. Like they went away together. They were
Jillian
like,
and Bob?
yes,
And they were in Bethlehem or something, right?
Yeah, praying
Yeah.
away. Best of the season, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, Volozhiner and Trankov looked good here. That's what
They did. Their side-by-sides are really strong. I mean, the Saka.
Except for when he was giving you some single toe action.
He did a Rosano combination of single toes. Triple toe, single toe, single toe. What was that? I really don't like his hair. I don't like the shave.
I don't like man buns.
I don't like man buns, and I don't like even when, like, you know, the rappers do it when they shave half their head and then they have like the female girls. I don't like it. Demi
His
Lovato.
posture is not as good as hers.
She has really good skating skills.
She's phenomenal. I want her to give a little bit more attitude sometimes because he really gives the attitude. I like Stolbova. I missed her here. I was, you know, how is she doing? You know, what was her holiday? What's people getting her for New Year's? You know, GoFundMe. I don't know. What are we doing? But Volozhiner and Trankov.
Teeth whitening so that she can show off her pearly whites at Europeans.
Yes.
Purity.com.
So the throw triple flip, the technique is just not.
It's not there yet. It's not good. It goes okay. So a jump needs to have like an arc. It needs to go up and across. They just go whoosh across.
But like even in the short,
when she lands, and she's known for her landings, the throw loop and the long. She
was gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Hold that landing. I like their long program. It's really grown on me. I like them. I like them
a lot. I think their short has gotten better. They had more energy. I think that's key, more speed. I don't know how are they going to do against Stolbova and Klimov. I think I'm interested to watch that matchup.
Both teams, in my opinion, have very good skating skills when you compare them to the World Championships. I think they're really strong.
And I think they will be at Worlds because I think Stolbova and Klimov did the dirty work and they proved that you can beat Jillian and Bob.
Yeah, and now both of them are going to want to go in for. I mean,
1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is going to be the competition. Well, it was nice to see Yuko Kawaguchi landing more of her jumps here. She still had a really bad fall in the double axel.
The double axel sequence, I am not Moskvina, I am not the expert, but it looks like she would not set herself up for success because it looked like it's too quick for her, like she's wild.
I like that phrase. Don't set yourself up for success. Keep going.
Yeah, like she's just, it just looks a little manic. She has a lot of limbs that she needs to like find, like Evan Lysacek, you know.
Yeah, she put her hair up. I was thinking of you because you don't like her hair this season. It looked better.
I liked this program better last year. There are little choreographic changes, and I miss him stomping.
Oh, I love it. And the running and the like.
Dun, 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 dun. I mean, this is my kind of Russian program. This is what I really. Yeah, Moskvina program is where I'm at.
I also would like you talk about choreographic changes. I would like if they're not doing the throw quad loop, if they could move that to the second half. I don't like it's like jump, jump, throw, like all within the same thing. Don't go to the other side of the ice.
So I always like watch the counter and I'm like, well, are they going to get the points? How many points are you doing? Like they already did all of their elements. So
and they don't have the best like huge dynamic lifts or lift positions to end a program with. I mean, he does do nice carry lifts, but her extension, so it's not like I don't get excited to see their lifts at the end of the program. I would be more excited.
Volozhiner and Trankov had some really pretty lifts.
Really pretty, yeah. And we'll talk about that. I want to talk about some of the ice dance lifts too. Before we talk about the ice dance, Droster and Morozov, I like them. They really came back. This was a moment for me in their long program.
This was the computer. They were very happy. They're little Shishkova and Naumov to me.
Yeah.
Where like you have the interesting pairs, and then you have like the nice and good, but it's just not.
Well, and it's like I just think they're packaging this season. The opening of that long program, it's so literal. Where he's like, she's the note, and he's kind of the conductor, and then he keeps conducting throughout the program. And the costume, I just think that they're better than some of. And last season too, we talked about it. They're such good skaters. They don't need. Yeah, I don't. No. But I like seeing them do so well. She has great throws, but why do you do both in the long program into a spread eagle? Change it up. Maybe do an Ina.
I think she could do a lot of things. She's a very talented skater. They need to make them more interesting. They need to find a way. Does she need to change her hair like Bobrova?
Yeah,
like
she could do bright. Oh no, he has red hair. She could do dark hair. No,
I think dark hair.
Yeah, dark hair.
She's a little washed out, especially because she always does like the nude colored costume or salmon,
or like she just needs a bright like a orange shirt, like something to bright. in them up because they're so
I think
present.
a dark, like she could have like a dark moment.
Yeah, and like they could use that in the choreography. Any more parents you want to talk about ice dance? I have some thoughts on ice dance this week.
Okay. Who knew? I mean, what was your team this week? Who was your team?
Okay, so I really felt like Bobrova and Solovyov. I thought they should have won the short dance. I thought they should have won both. Their free dance is boring to me, but I felt
they do nothing.
Dance, yeah, I
mean,
really
watch the beginning before they get into the steps. I used to maybe joke about some of our favorite ice dancers getting drug around by their partners. I think that's kind of what's going on here in the beginning, but it's a long, beautiful edge where she's being yanked.
And she has those, it's just all about the lines for me. The flesh in the I'm going to call it long, the free dance, it doesn't match her skin at all. That was a no-no. I really like they utilize her lines, though, in the lift. Yes. The first lift in the long program, or free dance, where her legs are nice and straight. Love that. Love the wraparound lift where like her body's going everywhere. But I also feel like on the second push of their crossovers, it's a little shallow. Like they get a good extension on the first, but that cross under, there's two parts of a crossover. You got to get your leg out, get a little bit faster. They have nice lines and connection, I felt, in their short dance. The free dance, though, it gets a little bit screechy towards the middle section.
So I thought that they were going to give the national title to Nikita and Victoria until the Twizzles. And I just...
In both dances, though, I felt they were even off on the first Twizzle in the short dance.
So he's never been known for consistent Twizzles. Yeah. I mean, we used to white knuckle when Elena and Nikita skated together. And with Victoria, the one thing is that he usually starts behind, and then like he is so much faster and like gets so much more ice coverage that
she's in front, so he can kind of like we're seeing her, so he can cheat it a little bit.
Yeah. But they've tried to like maneuver that a little bit to get it better. It's still not consistent yet. So I have to say that this is a Marina program, and you were texting. Yes, let's talk about it.
So
how do you?
I noticed from the beginning, and I think the Shibutanis may have had like very, very, if not the same choreography at the beginning, where like she likes to have her men run. So at the beginning of their free dance, like he's running, and it's a lot of it's nice choreography, but it's similar. Like you can tell a Marina program. And I don't think
Josh Groban, Le Carosi, it's like we're skating to Josh Groban, we're putting her in a pretty evening dress, she's a pretty girl, they're dating. It's not imaginative at all. To me, it's like really ding, 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 Marina's phoning it in. Like, to me, it's nice and it shows some flow and some good connection, but this is a team that doesn't have an identity yet. It's just... she hasn't figured out what to do with them yet, or
they're good.
They're good.
The judges want to give it to them. They want them to be one of the leading, like they want them up there. And I feel like there's still they need one more. The material next season will tell a lot because that's really the season for them. Next season they got to step it up. They have to really make some big moves. Overall, though,
and when Marina gets you a national title in the bag, you cannot mess up your Twizzle.
No, not your Twizzle.
And they both messed them up.
Yeah, and it was not.
His was a disaster. It was a Twizaster.
Yeah, it was a Twizaster. Talking about non-Twizasters, the Stepanova and Bukin, they have gorgeous Twizzles. Great line. They were my best dressed as well. And I really like on their Twizzle, like the third Twizzle, they like throw their head back. That's really hard to do when you're twizzling.
Yep,
I like them. I think they're gorgeous. They need a little bit more power.
But they have it.
They have it, yeah.
So people are starting to hate on this team because they can push Aleda and Ruslan at Europeans. But to me, I think that they're a very lovely team. I like them. I like a long-legged girl. She's
gorgeous.
Nice. He's a great skater. She's nice to look at. They need more interesting material, but I think that they're very pretty. We liked their program last year as well. So to me, it's a rough thing, but...
would you send them to Europeans? I mean, now what do you do with the Peter non-Peter, Elena and Ruslan?
So they're not as known as Elena and Ruslan, but...
I just think it's time. I don't think Elena and Ruslan, they've been super inconsistent this year.
Yeah.
I'm
leaning towards sending Stepanova. I was trying to think this, and beyond her star quality and her past results and what they've done this season, I don't see a real justifiable reason to send
them over the other. Yeah.
I can't justify it. And I think that if the judges really wanted to, they would have given Elena and Zaganshin the win in the free dance, which they could have, but their total was low. So that even though they were second in the free dance, they were still fourth overall.
Yeah.
I would
think
send
that,
Stepanova
yeah,
and
that
Lucan.
free
I
dance
would.
is just, it was better here, but it's still like when the Frida ladies screaming, and it just highlights that they just look messy, a little bit sloppy.
So the short dance has never worked all season.
No, it's like weird
we will
music
block you.
changes. Yeah, because it goes from like, I don't know, it just.
And they fell in a
Someone
non-element,
to
and
Love.
they still got hosed. To me, the biggest thing I notice about their twizzles, and you can really tell kind of someone's skating skills by how they do these twizzles, and their twizzles have never worked. They do the outside twizzle with the leg and attitude, and then they go to the inside, and like they have a distance, and then all of a sudden they're almost like they're right up against each other, which is someone's not skating so well when we're doing these
when
twizzles.
You're not like, and I also think like
it's sloppy. It's a lot of sloppiness going on, and it's like. So the knock on her when she was in Marina is that they used to say that she lacked power, and it looks like they're trying to work on her skating ability and make her faster, and Nikolai did this as well. But to me, so she's a star, and he looks like someone that's not quite at her level. It's kind of like where we found out.
He's a little bit like afraid of, not like he wants her, like he's like, whoa, like she shines. And I feel like he needs to
doesn't let her shine.
Yeah, and then he's like playing catch up. He needs to also shut his mouth when he skates. I don't care for like.
So he's trying to make like facial expressions to get into it.
Is that it? Yeah, it didn't work.
No.
Particularly when the music is Frida and she's portraying Frida. Like, let Frida shine.
And she's gorgeous. Like, we don't need to know what he looks like ever. I don't know. Like, I shouldn't know what he looks like. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she is really a STEM. It should just be.
Like, when you're an A and a B and you're the B, like, just
be the B. Let the A.
Yeah,
your job as a B is to really showcase the A. Well, what was, as we wrap this show up, what was your moment of the week from Russian Nationals, Dave Lace?
I have to think that my moment of the week. I didn't think of. Okay, so. Well, I mean, I liked watching Radionova, and I was very proud of her for fighting through that program. But I have to say Voloshyzhar and Trankov, I think seeing them back, there's
fire in their eyes.
The fire in their eye, were they going to be here the rest of the season? And also, the excuse of the season with the massage. I mean, come on, that is a moment of the week for me. These are important things that we really need to remember.
We need to keep our eye on those things. Well,
yes.
Mine was the comebacks. I really like to see Pogorelaya coming back, so focused. I also like to see Tarasova and Morozov. I mean, they both skaters had really tough early season. It seemed like they weren't like gelling, and I feel like it's coming together for them at the right time. What were your moments of the week? I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Parabéns.
Does Tutamishva need a new moo-moo? Maybe like a red one for like Worlds?
Yes. Yeah. And maybe like we can send her to a new makeup artist. Like,
yeah.
Just spruce up the look a little bit.
Yeah. So as always, we want to remind you that when you are a lady skater, hold an edge and extend like Sotnikova. Show some motion. Connect to the audience. Hold an edge and look sexy.
Bye, guys.
Hop over to goldenskate.com so you can keep the TSL discussion going in the This and That thread. goldenskate.com.